Most of what we worry about never happens. I've talked about this before in the past. There's actually been studies that back this up. 85% of what you worry about never happens. And then the remaining 15%, that 15% happens, but it turns out to be a blessing in disguise or wasn't nearly as bad as what you expected. And then there's really just a small part of what we worry about that actually happens. However, with that said, I position my clients pretty well. With my clients, especially if they're approaching retirement, we put together a volatility plan and we put together a plan to contend with inflation. And this is part of the financial planning process. And that's why that's so important. The volatility plan is we will go through their budget and figure out what are their must-haves. You got to keep a roof over your head. You got to keep food in the refrigerator. You need access to healthcare. And we add those totals up and multiply by 2. And the reason why we do that is because most bear markets last about 2 years. And I've gone back and studied all of them. Also, they're going to have some guaranteed income. So they're going to have Social Security at the very least. If they have annuities, if they're lucky enough to have a pension, factor that in too. And that difference between those two is how much we need to keep in stable assets like money markets or cash equivalents. And then outside of that, we'll usually look to put about 3 years of that number in bonds. And bonds do a great job of controlling the volatility in the portfolio. And that insures them from volatility risk.